Well, today we're focusing on the GCC region. My host is Nikolay Vylegzhanin. Nikolay, welcome.
Hi, Dan. Pleasure to be here.
Well, Nikolay, you're co-hosting with me today. So really, in terms of we've got quite an exciting agenda, which is suitable for what is a very exciting region of the world for the convenience industry right now. We're going to share some of Shopworks' latest work in the region, very interesting market reports on the Saudi opportunity. Then we've got two exciting presentations from UOMCO and ENOC, two very important players in the region. Plus, Nico, this is all in the context of what was a very successful NACS Convenience Leaders Exchange event very recently in the region as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was recent. Yeah, and a lot of people joined. So yeah, we can talk about that as well.
Good. Okay, Nico. So to kick off, why don't we invite the MD of Shopworks, Craig Phillipson, on the program, just to talk a little bit about the sort of context in the region from a Shopworks perspective. Craig, welcome.
Hi, Dan. Nice to see you, and good to see you, Nico.
So you've done a lot of work over many years in the region as far as Shopworks are concerned, Craig.
Yeah, we were super lucky to be invited there probably 20 years ago. First off, for Axiom Telecom, actually, Faisal Albano invited us to come and design and develop his concept stores. From there, we moved into pharmacy with a chain called Planet Pharmacy. And then our first petrol forecourt retail customer in the region was Emirat, who have obviously featured on Shop Talk Live, and Darren and Nabila have really done some tremendous work specifically in the UAE.
Right, and you were also at the NACS event recently, Craig. That was a success, I think.
Yeah, and beautifully organised by Nico and Mark, and it was good to get all of those kind of key customers in the region talking to each other, and that's the beauty of those events, sharing best practice, understand what everybody's doing, and then seeing how we can all learn from each other.
Well, talking about learning, I mean, we're just going to hear in a couple of minutes about some, if you like, some key sort of details about the Saudi report that Shopworks have put together. Just before we hear that from Nico, what was the interest in the Saudi market in particular?
Well, given our experience in the UAE and also in Oman, and I know we're talking to Hussain and Ramzi later on in the program, and all the great work that's going on there. And it was really Nico who brought it up and said, look, Saudi is a tremendous market. It's opening up. There's lots of exciting things potentially about to happen, and Shopworks, frankly, should be at the forefront of that, so that hopefully we can share what we've done not only globally but also specifically in the region, and try and work with people in Saudi to try and move the industry collectively forward, which I think is often the goal for us all. So we decided, in view of all of that, to do a kind of deep dive understanding of the market, and I know that Nico is going to talk specifically about that as the expert.
Well, I think very good timing to do that. I think it's obviously in some of the articles that you've written before, Nico, we've heard a lot about the Saudi opportunity. It is a very big opportunity in a region which is itself, very much in the news at the moment. Obviously, we're going to have to try and avoid talking about the World Cup all the time in this episode. It may come up later, so we'll come to that. But Craig, I mean, thank you for agreeing to share this and your participation in the episode. And should we? I know we're not going to hear. It's a big report, this, so we're not going to hear everything, but we can just hear. Perhaps we should just get a few highlights from Nico. Just to give us a taste for what's coming from Shopworks on this.
Sure. Thank you, Dan. And yeah, you're right. Arab nations doing extremely well in the World Cup this year. So yeah, good for them. So when we thought about the Saudi Arabian market, I think firstly, let's put it into the context of the region, right? So if you think of the Middle East or GCC, the Gulf in particular, Saudi Arabia is the largest country, the biggest economy, but also it's the fastest growing economy. I think in the world this year is the fastest growing one. And the country is going through a massive transformational change across industries, right? And attracting investment, attracting businesses and so on. And fuel and convenience retail industries, no different. It's really going through a massive change. So what we decided to do is to take a closer look into the market and what was going on there and is going on. We took the approach of two elements, right? So we had really the quantitative review from the statistics point of view, the demographics, the movement of people, the transactions. So all the kind of more of a hard data side of things to understand what's going on in terms of consumption and people behavior in which regions, to highlight which regions are more promising versus others. But also we took a qualitative approach in terms of visiting the market, talking to the retailers there and understanding their challenges, their issues, and where they see the opportunities. And I think I must mention, all the companies that helped us building that and shared their perspective, their experiences. It was Petromin, Sasco, Aramco, Orange, Romana Trading, and some others. So it's really kind of a very collaborative piece of work, so to say. So if we look at the market of Saudi Arabia, the petrol forecourt and convenience market, there's around 13,000 stations in the country. And what's interesting, unlike other countries in the region, in Saudi Arabia, it's mostly independently owned. So there's a lot of smaller independent players in the market, but the market is going through very quick and aggressive consolidation. So bigger players are really growing their network. And interestingly, it's a combination of different players. So you have purely local players like Sasco or Al-Trisa Petromin, Aramco as well, national champion. And also you have regional players like ENOC OOMCO, they all present in the country as well, their stations, as well as international brands. So there's Total branded stations, and also Shell recently signed a partnership deal with one of the companies there. So it's really a go-to place. It's a very, very busy place in terms of the petrol forecourt. So a lot of opportunities in developing purely the fuel side of things. But what's important and what's interesting is that even though there is a high consumption, you have top 10 fuel consumption per day in Saudi Arabia, but in order to be successful, in order to be sustainable with the business, you need to really diversify. You need to think of the other elements of the business there, and also food service and beverage business for sure. And in the country, that industry is really booming. It's on the rise, especially when you think of something like coffee consumption. It's ever growing thing there. If you think of brand like Dunkin' Donuts, that's been there for a while, has more than 600 locations, and all other major brands are present there and developing. And what is interesting, the market is really dominated by the drive-through model. Yeah. If you think of any, sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying it's a big area of innovation in this region, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been there for a while, right? Definitely, COVID accelerated that. The pandemic helped this element develop, but it's been there for a while. Yeah, and it's easily understandable. It's a hot climate. People don't really get out of their car, so it's just easier to get a drive-through. But if you think of coffee in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, the capital only, we have more than 6,000 this drive-through small coffee kiosks with professional barista coffees. That's massive. I haven't seen anything like that anywhere else. But when you think of the convenience part of the business as well, the normal, classic element of the forecourt offer, it's a challenging market, right? It's a market where you have a lot of competition, especially with the traditional trade, with the traditional so-called bakkal stores. So all the few retailers, they do run the C-store business, but it's a tough game. It's a tough competition. So it's very critical for all of them to, solve some of the major issues and do it in the right way. So network planning and the scale of operations is really important and critical to understand where to put what offers. Also the format planning, and we talk about it in the report quite a lot, that you need to be, first of all, kind of tailored for your specific region and specific customer, and you cannot be, same offer everywhere. So you really need to be differentiated. And lastly is the category management. So this is something that all those retailers doing, obviously, but you need to be very, precise with, what's the assortment, what's the pricing. There's a lot of price sensitivity is there in the market. And when you think of the classic convenience stores at the fuel forecourts, it's normally a premium offer. And in Saudi Arabia, it's still element that needs to be developed in terms of premiumization and kind of justification why this is premium and what are these kind of additional offers, additional differentiating elements that justify that premium price. And this is what we cover in that report. And I hope that this would be useful for both, already operating retailers in the market, but also anyone who's interested to, to approach the market for the very first time.
Well, 100%, and I think there's going to be a lot of interest in this, obviously because of the intense interest in the opportunities in Saudi Arabia, but also in the region. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it, and well done on putting it together, Shopworks, I have to say. So Nico, that kind of sets the scene. I think it's important just to think about the sort of some of the detail in the individual markets. Obviously, there's lots of operators who are doing exciting things. We've got two of them on the program today. The first up is UOOMCO. So perhaps if we could introduce Hussain and Ramzi from UOOMCO. We know you both very well, guys. You've joined us on many occasions on some of the European events we've done over the last few years. And yeah, thank you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Dan, and we are very glad to be with you here today. At the same time, I'd like to thank you for the great job you guys are doing to share all the insights on the business of the C-store and the food and all the convenience retailers at the service station.
Well, hi, Dan. Good to see you. Good to see you, Nico.
Thank you. Well, we love working with you guys, as you know, so we appreciate that feedback very much. We love covering the region, and obviously Nico's done many fantastic articles over the last few years, really bringing the sort of innovations in the region and developments in the region to the global audience. We have 100 countries who watch and listen to what we write about this. So it's become, a big area of interest. And we'd very much like to hear about a bit of an overview on UOOMCO, what you're doing, and I know you're doing some exciting things. So perhaps we could ask you to share some of that with our audience today.
Yes, thank you very much once again. Just a quick intro for those who are not familiar with Oman Oil Marketing. It's a public listed company, and it's operating with 256 service stations that falls across the whole country in Oman. The company is having a wide diversified services, among which, beside the retail, we have the aviation business, the aviation fuel, lubricants, which also we sell to many countries, the Oman Oil lubricant overseas. The storage bunkering business, as well as the B2B commercial. One very big component of the OOMCO business is the non-fuel retail, which we putting more insight into it. But nevertheless, it's very important also to state that we are not only operating in Oman, but at the same time we are in international business in many countries overseas, where we are operating in KSA now with 12 service stations. And at the same time in Tanzania, where we reached 11, and there is more sites to come in both countries as well as in Oman.
No, very, very interesting.
And maybe just to share a little bit more insight about the SFS or non-fuel retail. Is really considered as being one of the key differentiation. In the past years, we've seen a big change in the customer behavior, where in the past, when you see the service station in this region was made on the fuel purchase. And if you have a good location, then you have a very good throughput. However, recently, because we have a very young generation, which is more than 45% of the country is below 30, and they are on the social network as well as traveling. So now they're looking for services beyond the fuel, and this is where it's becoming not anymore valid to have only focusing on the fuel. And with that, we have been moving beyond to complement the fuel sales with the first part of non-fuel, starting with the Hussain brand, which is the company store, where we have more than 60 shops across the country. And this is considered one of the largest convenience store in the fuel marketing in the country. And at the same time, we went also as well as into the coffee business, where we have a master franchisee with the Amazon, which is an Asian very premium coffee, and the food, which is recently also we added. We are working with the two brands, which is in the burger steers and Domino Pizza, and this is where we've seen we have really tried to leverage on the strength of the real estate that we have across the country, and this is where having our own franchise business is one key component, which is making the business in OOMCO differentiated. Nevertheless, at the same time, in this real estate, we are also working with a lot of different brands that is also work with us as a tenant, among which the Burger King, Subway, McDonald's, KFC, and others.
Yes.
But just to end with one of the key also differentiation also element is the car care centers, and we have the Optimo Plus, which is a full-fledged car care center that is in many of our sites. And with this all is an element of differentiation. At the same time, we are trying to meet and working to meet the customer needs and wants. And this is where we are now adding more of such services as we're going forward.
But very good. I mean, if I could just emphasize one point. So I didn't do this, but I should do this. So Hussain, you're the GM retail in OOMCO, and Ramzi, you're head of department for convenience retail, so head of convenience retail in the business, aren't you? I mean, one emphasis thing I was going to make, which I know you guys obviously know about, but our audience may not, is that those brands, so three of those brands, Amazon, Steers, and Debonairs Pizza. I mean, Steers and Debonairs are very big brands in the African market. That's obviously going to be widely known in the African market. It won't be so much in Europe, but I mean, these have got some nice brand equity and history to them. Amazon, Cafe Amazon is a very big Far Eastern coffee brand, isn't it? So I suppose I was just emphasizing the point that you've got some great partnerships. You've got some great brand partners here, haven't you guys?
Definitely. I think the success, I think here in being differentiated is having very strong brands, and at the same time also accessible to many other brands. And at the same time, it's very important to mention that we are also working closely with the local brands that either in the food or coffee or the car care area, which is also at the same time working very closely with us. One of the key elements here to mention is the human capital, how we're trying to transfer the knowledge to the local people to operate these brands and to be skilled in order to meet the customer expectation.
Very, very good.
Maybe Ramzi, you can talk a little bit about the C-store.
Yes. So thanks, Dan. The food service, it's as well as the convenience retail. It's an important key and factor of success. So we've seen high young population with Oman, as well as the urbanization here is at level of 87%. That means we have to be more and more convenient to our customer. So the food, it's starting we start build it as a destination in our C-store, but also going to operate as a franchisee. So we are master franchise of burger and pizza. And why burger and pizza? Because we've seen a high growth in the Middle East and in Oman during the last years. And the burger and pizza, they are taking a market share of 45%, a growth of 7.8%, and the forecast for the next coming years. The coffee business also. So if you have a young generation, and it's an experience for them, and to make this experience in our sites and outside our sites, so we have to meet their needs. The first thing, so if you come back to the slide, QSR business, it's the same anywhere in the country and in the region, but to success in this business, you have to localize. Localization, it's important. So to meet the customer needs, to meet their taste, to their behavior. So for the pizza or for the burger, or as well for the coffee business, so you have to localize the taste. The young people in Oman, they like the 100% Arabica medium roasted beans. So we try to adapt our offer to the local market. They like the tea karak, so we are doing tea karak cold drinks. So to meet the flavor and the needs of the customer. So this is important to have a localized menu and localized offer, as well as unique product.
Well, that's really interesting, Ramzi. Yeah. Nico, you have a view on the localization point that Ramzi is just making. It's very important in the region, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And if you think of the, as Ramzi rightly mentioned, it's a young generation, mostly in the region, and there's a specific taste, specific products that they want to consume. But also, I think there's also a point that Hussain mentioned about the localization in terms of the knowledge and the skill set. I think there's a push for bringing the expertise to the local markets as well. So I think it's a combination of local product, but also the way how business is done, having in mind the local needs of consumers and businesses. Makes sense.
As mentioned by Nico, in terms of the drive-through, we've seen the drive-through. It's massive here in the region because of the weather, but also to offer a different format. The format, let's say the network planning, it's very important, and we've done the exercise last year with the support of Shopworks, Craig and the team, so to identify which offer in which location, and to meet all the needs of people, student, which they want to meet and socialize, a grab and go. The lady here in the Middle East, usually they don't want to go inside the service station, so the drive-through is important, and grab and go, the small format, to meet the size and to adapt the size to the service station. So this is also a very important key of success in the food business. So different format depending on the site, depending on the customer and the catchment area.
Ramzi, but another thing that is really important is delivery. Maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Yes, correct. Delivery, it's very important, and we've seen a huge development and the growth in the last year. The growth on the online delivery, it's 16% in Oman. This is mainly because of the high attractiveness of the digital, and young people well connected to online and then the digital, as well as the hot weather, and people, they prefer to stay at home for sharing pizza or sharing combo. So this is also an important thing, and to develop it also we are working closely with Nico and Craig, and to leverage our real estate and to use the current sites and the current store that we have to convert it in dark kitchen. So with this way, we can be more convenient to the customer and more neighborhood. And this is also one of the main pillars that we are working on.
Maybe I'd just like to add one more to emphasize on the based on the customer expectation and demand. We're making a change now in the format, as earlier mentioned by Ramzi, the format of the convenience store. So to resize it, and at the same time to have within it more offers in the food or maybe other coffee business, which is really we found it being the way forward in our strategy. In the past years, we've seen that in many locations, about 5-10 years back, the big store was in high demand, but now we're seeing this coming with a change, which is trying to meet the customer needs and demand, and that is the way forward, where we're incorporating more services within the spaces that's available across the country, which is a great, the reformatting is a new trend in the strategy that we are expecting. It will bring more footfall to the site at all, overall.
Very good. And are you optimistic, Hussain, about the future?
Well, definitely we are optimistic. We went out of the difficult time, and now this year there is very good growth across the different type of businesses, and we are very much optimistic. One is the market is supporting at the same time we are in the right direction, where we are bringing what customer really needs to them in the sites which includes the food as well as the coffee, which is very critical, as well as the car care. And we find now the average throughput ultimately is also increasing per sites because of this diversified services that we are bringing. So we are very much optimistic, yes.
Very good. And you must be as well then, Ramzi, I'm guessing.
Yeah, despite the COVID period and all these challenges that we are facing in the business, in the convenience retail business, as well as in the food business, in terms of supply chain, in terms of cost, in terms of high competition with the local brand, but we still optimistic because we have already this large network, and we have the footfall, and it can improve our business. But also in the Omani market, the young generation and the access to the digitalization and this good infrastructure in terms of internet and mobile. So it allows us to go beyond the service station through this delivery, through the ordering online. And this is also interesting in this market.
Very, very good. Well, I'd like to thank OOMCO and Hussain and Ramzi for joining us on Shop Talk Live. And yes, good luck with what you're doing. It very much seems to be you're on the right track to me. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nico.
Thank you very much. I think we are just important to say we have very good work with Shopworks, many of our suppliers and business partners, and this is a combination of very good effort that's now coming all together. So thank you to you all. Thank you to Dan having us in this session.
Great team effort. Thanks very much both. So Nico, that was pretty interesting. You know, one player that's on the move and going places. Let's hear from another who I know over many years. If I can welcome Zacharie Ghoudane, who's the convenience store manager at ENOC, head of Zoom. Zacharie, aren't you?
Hello, how are you guys? Good to see you.
Now we haven't mentioned the World Cup. I can't avoid mentioning it now. You were who did you watch play last night, Zach?
Sorry, I lost you.
So who did you watch play last night, Zacharie?
Oh, please, I can speak a lot about World Cup. I'm originally from Morocco. I'm born in France. And I attended the match of Morocco against Spain. And guess what? On Saturday, I'm having the chance to have the tickets for both match, for Morocco and then France. So pray with us. Pray with us.
Well, yeah, I'll also be praying for England on Sunday night against France. But yeah, congratulations! Isn't it great to see Morocco do so well? We're all excited about that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Zach, we'd like to talk about the World Cup, but we'd also like to hear about what you're doing. Take us through latest developments with Zoom.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank you guys for having me today and giving the opportunity to speak about Zoom. So I'm head of Zoom, so I will be speaking essentially about Zoom. But before to do that, I would like to share with you Zoom belongs to a group called ENOC, and definitely today I think it will be an amazing forum to discuss about the challenges of the C-store. I wanted also to share with you guys how Zoom is going to look at redefining the retail of the future, the convenience retail of the future. And I wanted to share with you this quote from Darwin, and I think it's everybody knows it, and it gives so much sense to where we are as of today. It's not the best guys who are going to survive. The people who are going to adapt to the new requirement of the customers, the new challenges, gonna survive. Today, COVID shows us, learned to us a lot of things. We are having different type of customers. We are having all type of power purchase customers. So we have a big role now in defining the retail of the future. So first of all, EPCO was the very first name in the inception of the company. It was a joint venture with Caltex in 1988. So Caltex gave us the Star Mart convenience store. Then in 2000, we changed the name to Aqua, because at that time we need to also redesign and propose a new name. And in 2009, Zoom came. So Zoom is the retail arm of our ENOC petrol station network. So also in parallel, in 2009, we have done a redesign of our mother brand, which is ENOC. And you can see through the branding that we came with new names and new design in order to answer the new type of customer and define our new strategy. If we continue now, today ENOC is having 180 stations in the UAE. We are approximately having 172 stores within our 180 stations. Also, in 2009, we got the chance to deploy our retail knowledge in the metro station in Dubai. So we were exclusive in the metro station. So we have 50 stores in metro. And also, we got the opportunity to extend also our expertise in terms of retail and delivering 36 standalone stores. So today, we can say in the next slide also, you will see that Zoom today is able to propose approximately 5 type of customer and retail offer. So the two that you can see in the slides are a Zoom answer to the compact station that ENOC is delivering for the community area, as well as the e-link. So you can see it's a truck where we put a solution, Zoom as well. So you can see we are able to do from vending machine business up to stores of 800 square meters. And it's not easy, because we have 1,000 of different merchandising plan, different customer portfolio, different average basket. So it's very, very interesting to have this type of challenges.
Well,
if we could,
Zacharie, lot of interest in those two stations, you know, the Compacts and the E-Link station. What's the Zoom offer? Obviously, we can see how they work from an Phil's perspective. What's the Zoom offer in those two stations?
So the Zoom offer for the Compact station is basically, it starts from vending machine, where we propose fresh, we propose snacks, and we propose coffee. So you can see, and by doing that, definitely it's our very basic unmanned solution, where the customer can enter inside the kind of area of 3 to 4 square meters, and he's having the choice to have his coffee and with a small sitting area. Regarding the E-Link as well, it's a kind of business model that we are creating in order to do delivery to the car. And I will share with you at a later stage what is the solution that we have developed to deliver the customer in his car. So you will see it later, and it will be very interesting. So definitely 2,000 staff to serve the customer on daily basis, 64 nationalities. So I can let you imagine the challenges, and in terms of communication. By the way, I can give you a small type here. Our emails, newsletter was 3 per week, I think 3 years ago, and it was almost 4 to 5 pages. Now we reduce it to 1 communication per week, and there is nothing more than 3 messages. And believe me, 3 messages is the maximum that the team on the field can absorb. So I wanted also to share with you some pictures about the look and feel that we have today in our stores. We have pretty much nice stores in terms of look and feel. Everybody are having a very good opinion of our stores. We are investing on nice material. You can see that the welcoming, the colors are very, very welcoming. And also you can see the digital pelmet. So the digital, it's also something that we would like to share with you, that the digital, it's not a nice to have. Today, we have done some studies, and we know a digital site is bringing 3 to 4 points more customer than a station without digital. So without disclosing any secret, the penetration rate in a petrol station, we are between 26 to 32%. So out of 100 customers refilling petrol, 26 to 32 are entering in the C-store. And guess what? In our 36 sites where we put the digital, their average of penetration is 3 points more than the sites without digital. So the digital, it's really an added value. And guess what? The vendors, they like it. They like it. And especially the big guys such as Coca-Cola, Pepsi, they like to put their content in that digital pelmet.
And
yeah.
Zacharie, just to sort of understand that, if we look at the pictures here, we can see the digital, the sort of long digital boards exactly. above the beverages cooler, for instance, in the bottom right hand picture, above the kiosk in the other pictures, and above the food service offer. That's exactly. What you mean.
Exactly. So this is something
I believe.
Sorry,
but I believe there is also communication outside of the C-store on the fuel pump area, right?
What we call digital site is C-store specific digital pelmet. Outside also, each pillar within the forecourt, we put 4 screens, and also in the facade of the C-store, we have a screen of 2 meters by 2 meters. This is what we call a digital petrol station. I wanted to share with you also some challenges, and this is specific to UAE. In 2016, we were doing the business was distributed in that way. You can see on the bottom, the top-up business was representing 40% of our turnover. The top-up is, the people here doesn't have the postpaid, so they are recharging their mobile. on a daily basis, weekly basis. The top-up also is very important for the toll gate that we have in Dubai. It's a kind of sticker that you put in your car, and you have to pay for each time you pass through some toll gate. So this is representing a huge business in 2016. You can see that the tobacco was around 27%. The food service was only at 8%. The rest of the merchandise were at 27%. Between 2016 and 2022, we lost 20 points. The top-up business, we lost 20 points. The loss was very big. When I say very big, we speak about approximately 2.5 million transactions lost. But the loss is not only on the turnover for the top-up business. It's also having a double loss, because the customer who comes to recharge his mobile or buy his toll gate is buying a bottle of water, etc., etc. So we have been affected. And at that time, we decided to work on a strategy in order to increase our turnover for the normal merchandise. And now we can say, after this almost 6 years, that the top-up business loss has been covered. The good news is we cover a very poor turnover by a very rich turnover. Without disclosing any secret, everybody knows that the services is between 3 to 5% margin. So when you have 20% of your turnover, which was doing 5% of margin, covered by 20% of turnover doing 25% of margin, the equation is very interesting for the P&L. So if we continue in terms of challenges, I try to identify them here. And everybody, as I said, we wanted to decrease our dependency on the top-up. Definitely the traffic that you lose in terms of top-up, you need to recover it somewhere. How to tackle also the traditional tobacco decline, which is a worldwide trend. Then definitely we wanted to go food, and breakfast. And then definitely the price image to be changed. Everybody knows that the petrol stations are more expensive than the supermarket. Our role was how to increase our basket without affecting our margin and keeping the customer happy for the value for money. The last point is how to embrace new technology to increase the convenience and reduce the staff cost. Because the staff cost, even if we're in the Middle East, the staff cost is cheaper than the Europe. And as per my knowledge, in Europe, you are guys around 11, 12% of your turnover for the staff cost. Here we have the chance to be still around 6 to 7%. So the staff cost, it's not an issue same as Western countries, but it's going to be soon a line in our P&L that we are going to look at very, very significantly. Now, we try to define an approach in order to be sure that, again, the people, all the team around Zoom will understand. And it took time. When you see this slide, it's complicated to do something easy. So what we did, we tried to define who we are, what we want, and how we want to run our business. So what we said, what is important for us is the community. The people, they know Zoom, and we want people to be sure they are part of Zoom. The convenience, how to increase the convenience, how to be part of the customer journey at each step of his life. The sustainability, it's something also that we wanted really to print as our core direction and values. All of these three pillars have to be driven with strong collaboration. We want Zoom to collaborate with the big guys or the big girls, let's say. So we want to build this kind of things with strong collaboration. You can see in the next slide, for example, what we have done, and you can see that, for example, for the FIFA World Cup, we were the exclusive with Coca-Cola to do a campaign for the FIFA World Cup. We distributed 60 tickets. And you cannot imagine how many, because World Cup, Coca-Cola is about emotions. And we wanted to be part of this emotion. And football doesn't have any something comparable to football to transmit the emotions. If you go to the next, is something also that we wanted to do is about the community, about the women empowerment. So it's something, it's a cause that we have decided to build for the long term. There is a lot of things to do about the women empowerment, how to support them. It can go from how to help women in Africa by giving them a kind of loan in order to start an activity, to some students here in UAE, how to help them to increase their PR. So, for example, you will see after that we have done an activity where we brought a lot of women, and we let them, by the way, no single man was there, so it was an event only for them, and the aim was to discuss about how we can empower women more in the future. So there is a lot of things to do, and it's something that we are going to continue to do in the future, and we are going to embrace any activity that will help us to support this cause. If you continue, Nick, in terms of convenience, you can see that it's something which is very, very important for us as well, and it's key in our pillars. How to increase the convenience, how to be sure we are a one-stop shop location. So from fueling your car to going inside the Zoom C-store and pay your Dewa bill, pay with your NOL for the people who are commuting with Metro. The most important is the remittance, Western Union, Emirates Post. And then also we are working now very strongly with Amazon in order to become a PUDO location. I think everybody is familiar with the PUDO location, which is the pickup and drop off location. So we are PUDO location for Emirates Post, for Amazon. Now we are working with the Commercial Bank of Dubai in order to start to work on the ATM of the future. We are working with them on the teller activities, which is cash deposit, check deposit, banking account opening, KYC, all this kind of activity to ensure people will continue to come to us in order to cover the loss in terms of top-up business.
Yes.
So also, I wanted to share with you some activity that we did in terms of sustainability and CSR. You can see that we are working with WWF in terms of plastic reduction. So there is a strong program from UAE in order to reduce the plastic consumption, and we did a huge activity. And basically, we moved very smoothly. We were afraid about the loss in terms of traffic because the customers. And by the way, it's also something that I would like to share with you. Since 2, 3, 4 years, a lot of retailers, all of a sudden, they decide one day to stop the plastic. And guess what? After 2 weeks, they bring back the plastic. Why? Because the customer cannot pay, don't want to pay 5, 10, 15 fees. In last June, it was a government initiative. So it was, that's why it shows again when Dubai is having a strategy driven by the government, everything is working properly. So what happened, we thought we were scared that we're going to lose in terms of traffic, but the customer impact was very positive, and it helped us to even continue more on the plastic reduction. In 1 year, we're going to stop it completely. Also, we wanted to share with you the coffee, as mentioned earlier by my colleagues from Oman. The coffee, it's key, and we have decided to create our own private label. Zoom is having a very, very nice identity in the country, so we wanted to capitalize on the Zoom brand awareness in order to create our own coffee. For several reasons. One of them is to propose a coffee for a price positioning, which is between Starbucks and Nescafe. And the second one is to use this one in order to increase our value for money. So if you see later, if you see the next slide, we build also our food services in order to answer our target, which is to go food. So we have our own Pronto, which is a kind of homemade full food service offer, where we are proposing the Starbucks, and we have signed with Starbucks in 2016 in order to capitalize on the coffee. So the coffee, our food service today is based on a strong coffee offer and definitely a basic breakfast product. The hot dog campaign, it's also something that we become now an absolute destination. This campaign was done last year. You can see for 13 dirham, which is approximately €3, you can have an access. You can have a super hot dog with the Pringles, and you can have an access to Global Village, which is the super demanded destination in UAE. And also in terms of coffee, to go more in terms of coffee, we have done some activities with Starbucks. So you can see that Starbucks did a challenge with us where the customer was able to win a trip in Costa Rica. Starbucks is something where I strongly recommend you, if you can do that, bring these guys. And also now Costa, they are also interested to come. So these guys are interested by our channel. So it's something that you need to study, guys. In terms of value, as I said before, one of the challenge was how to be sure we are not perceived as expensive. So we created, we didn't reinvent the wheel there, but what we noticed there is the customers, they like the promotion, and we try to create something which is on the go with something very normal. You buy a bottle of Coke at 5 dirham, you buy 2, 5 + 5, 10, you pay 9 dirham. So what we noticed when we did that, we increased by double-digit the number of the quantities sold. And after, what we noticed is that the customer on the go, sometimes he don't want 2 bottles of Coke. So what we did, we put Coke with Pepsi. We start to create some mix and match. And now where we are is to do mix and match between beverages and snacks. Like that, we are sure that the customer, even if he is alone, he can take benefits of this kind of offer. So it helps us a lot to reduce our price image, to increase our price image. You can see here also something that we did for the Yes Reward. This is our loyalty tool. And we are, again, linking it to our Zoom. We are doing promotion. We are promoting, pushing our Zoom through our Yes Loyalty program. Also something I spoke about it, which is for me, the key of our business, how to increase the penetration from the forecourt to the store. The Yes Loyalty helped us a lot. First of all, by creating this targeted promotion like buy 4, get 1 free. But also, we have done some activities because we are able to identify the customer at the moment he's refilling petrol, at the moment he pays. At that moment, you can see in the next slide, we are triggering to him a message. And you can see here, this is our way of how to design and how to identify the customer, how to monitor also the activity. So we have done some activities. We do some campaign in order to recruit the customer at the moment he pays. The increase is 75%. The percentage doesn't mean anything for you, but for the campaign and for the targeted customer we have selected, we have seen tremendous traffic thanks to that activity. We are able even to monitor by minutes. Between the moment he pay and the moment he pay in Zoom, for us, it gives us a kind of appreciation on the activity. And to be sure if our activity was given some return. We are also, thanks to the loyalty, we are giving tailor-made discounts. So if you are a customer, you never come in Zoom, we can give you up to 100% free. But if you are a customer and you come twice a week, I will not give you 100% free. I will give you 30, 40% in order to incentivize you. So we can do these kind of things with the loyalty because the aim is to generate traffic to the store. And again, we reach some 32, 33% of penetration from the forecourt, which is very good. Also, something in order to increase our business, thanks to our convenience location, we have taken the decision to work with these aggregators, and this is something that started to become famous in US, in Europe. Thanks God, we work with these guys since 2015, and 15% of our turnover is done through aggregators. So, you know, the customer journey is very simple. There is a tablet, there is an application, and the customer is selecting accordingly to his location. He's buying his product, and then the order reach our stores. Our staff, they prepare it, and the delivery team of the partner collect the stock and deliver to the customer. InstaZoom. So also how to increase the penetration in the forecourt. Customer can stay in their car. we designed an application. You download the application, you enter all your details, your car, your plate number, the color of your car. You order while refilling, and within 5 minutes, you receive your order at your car.
I like this. I like this, Nick. This is a nice option, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing one. So what we did, we are giving 20 dirham for the first order in order to incentivize people and bring them. So it's also going to help us in the future to get between 1.5 to 2 points. So again, as I told you, 26, 27 is our base. We want to put some extra percentage in our building blocks in order to reach 32, 33% of penetration. InstaZoom will help us to bring between 1 to 1.5. It's amazing in terms of if we succeed to reach that. So this is a summary of what we are doing in order to design the retail of the future.
Well, it's pretty impressive, Nico. What?
Yeah, impressive portfolio of formats and products, and also different solutions and initiatives. Really, really impressive. So, I wanted to check with you in terms of the different types of formats that you have. Let's say at the petrol stations and standalone. What are the major differences? Because I see, many fuel retailers considering stepping outside of fuel station channel. So, what do you think? What are the major opportunities and challenges there?
There is a lot of challenges. For example, Metro, our average basket is about 15 dirham. Our average basket in the petrol station is 2 times more. Our average basket in the standalone is about 100 dirham, 4 or 5 times more. The customer dwell time is also different. The customer profile is absolutely different. We need to have approximately for each store a kind of merchandising plan. So this is very challenging. Honestly, it's something which is very difficult to challenge, but in terms of knowledge, you are sure that you are covering all the needs. So that's why for me, I am able to have a station in a zone where the power of purchase is very limited, and a petrol station store in a zone where the people are having a lot of power of purchase, thanks to that Metro knowledge and standalone. Because our vendors, they are providing us all their brands. For example, we know that the positioning of some brands cannot fit in a station with a high power of purchase. So it's challenging. You need to have a lot of hours in terms of defining the assortment for each store accordingly to the area. But it's also good because your vendors, they like it. They are supporting you in order to bring the best offer for your customers.
Well, it certainly gives more power to the Zoom brand, doesn't it? In a way, you're surrounding, the consumer with your brand, aren't you? You're giving them lots of different chances to interact with your brand, and I think it's a big achievement too. I've always felt it was a big achievement when you managed to do that with the metro station standalone stores. So congratulations on that to you, Zach, and the ENOC team. Well, I mean, we've had a good deep dive into your business, the OOMCO business, and we've sort of teased everybody really about some of the information coming out of the Saudi Arabia report that you've done. Nico, it's been a pretty interesting episode, hasn't it?
It is, and I've been telling this for years. Yeah, Middle East is the place to follow. It's full of innovation, full of activities.
Well, Zacharie, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks to ENOC for supporting this, and of course for supporting the NACS event that just been delivered very successfully in the region. And look, I look forward to seeing you soon.